Well, good evening. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk. The Associated Press has announced and made the declaration that Issue 1 in Ohio, that's the constitutional protection of abortion rights in the state of Ohio, has passed. You can see on the screen they are declaring that Issue 1 of the yes vote is declared the winner so far, with 36% of the vote in. 57.8% voting for the abortion rights issue, 42.2% voting no. One of the reasons the AP is able to call this race with only 38% of the estimated total vote in is when you look at counties like Cleveland, like Cuyahoga, with such an overwhelming percentage and such a bigger population than the rural counties who are all voting no. 78% in Cuyahoga County alone voting yes. That is 79,000 votes in favor of Issue 1. When we look at Columbus, you have another 100,000 votes in favor of Issue 1. So our major metropolitan cities overwhelmingly in favor of Issue 1, and just based on population and the vote, that is why the Associated Press is declaring Issue 1 the yes vote has it. This will be a constitutional amendment that will protect abortion. Let's remember the major issue here, when you looked at this in the past, Ohio had what was the 22-week abortion law. You could have an abortion technically at 21 weeks and 6 days. It's commonly referred to as the 22-week rule. You had the Ohio legislature earlier this year vote in a 6-week rule, the heartbeat bill, that the abortion had to be performed within the first 6 weeks. The pro-choice market took odds with that and actually had it sent to the Ohio Supreme Court. So while that is at the Ohio Supreme Court, the state goes back to the original law, the 22-week rule. But now, in 30 days, we will go to the new constitutional right that does not have any dates or parameters as far as when an abortion can be performed. It gives protections to the individuals receiving an abortion. It also gives protections to the individuals who are performing the abortions. And in all cases, it is the doctor who gets to decide when a child is viable, when an embryo is viable when it comes to an abortion. One more look as we get back to our totals for Issue 1. The Associated Press saying that the affirmative has won the vote for the abortion rights in the state, 57.7% right now, with 38% of the vote in. While we have you here, let's talk about Issue 2, the legalized recreational weed. This vote is still a little bit too close to call. I know it looks on the screen like it's a pretty wide margin, and it is at 55.6% based saying yes, 44.4% saying no, and we're seeing some new numbers even come in live here. This is clearly sending a message to the Associated Press that this one just a little too close for them to issue a winner. I'm going to turn off our heat map. The heat map that we have turned on right now, the darker the color, the more in favor or not in favor they are of Issue 2. We can see the darkest green is down in Athens County when it comes to the recreational weed issue. 76.6% saying yes. The county saying no with the loudest voice to recreational weed is up here in Putnam County at 69%. Let's check Cuyahoga County, 64 in favor of legalized weed. We can see Columbus has an even bigger number at 68%. My guess is that this is going to be called by the Associated Press probably within the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. As they have already called. And when we look at Issue 1, these numbers are widening. Look at this now with 32% of the vote in. That's Columbus. Actually, let me get off of Columbus and we'll see our totals. It is 57.4% saying in favor of the abortion rights issue. We're going to keep our eye on issue 2, the recreational weed issue. If they declare a winner there, we will come back to you live. Otherwise, make sure you check us out on our 10 o'clock news on CW43 and our 11 o'clock news on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News. Have a good evening.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.